After a weekend when our nation mourned our past and present trials and tribulations, many Americans are realizing, perhaps for the first time, that the two-party system has failed we, the people. Americans are not getting the government we deserve. That's our focus in tonight's preamble. For the longest time, we in the conservative movement have pointed to the failed government-run education system, the American left, and general apathy as causes of America's decline. Now, to a large extent, that's still true. But the decline of the United States over the past 8 months has been so marked, so steep, so shocking, that we can safely say that Americans are enduring pain that is unnecessary and un-American. Our borders remain wide open, and while Joe Biden has claimed the authority to force Americans to get a vaccine, he's also said that he will not force millions of illegal aliens who he's allowing to stream into the United States to get those vaccines.
Requirement for people at a business with more than 100 people, but it's not a requirement for migrants at the southern border. Why?
That's correct.
Meanwhile, just ahead of the 9/11 commemoration, the United States State Department was asked about the utter brutality and misogyny of the terrorist Taliban, the entity that Joe Biden is trusting with Americans' safety in Afghanistan.
Understanding that you welcome this step, what about what we've seen on the streets of Kabul and other places, the lashings, the beatings of people, to say nothing of the appointment of an all-male, non-inclusive cabinet with these 2 Haqqani members with bounties on their head from this State Department?
Well, and so Andrea, as I said before, we are not going to make sweeping categorical judgments just yet.
Even though our own government has designated the Taliban a terrorist group, Team Biden isn't going to make any sweeping generalizations. But you know who is making generalizations? A guy by the name of George W. Bush. In a speech marking the 20th year since the 9/11 attacks, Mr. Bush compared certain Americans to the radicalized Islamic terrorists who killed 3,000 of our people on 9/11.
We have seen growing evidence that the dangers to our country can come not only across borders, but from violence that gathers within. There is little cultural overlap between violent extremists abroad and violent extremists at home. But in their disdain for pluralism, in their disregard for human life, in their determination to defile national symbols, they are children of the same foul spirit, and it is our continuing duty to confront them.
We're not sure if Mr. Bush was speaking of the January 6th rioters or the BLM Antifa terrorists who have been looting, burning, beating, and killing their way through our streets going on, 2 years now. But we are certain that Mr. Bush gave no mention of those Americans Joe Biden and his government left behind in Afghanistan. That's probably why Joe Biden praised Mr. Bush's speech.
It's one thing to say, I know I should step up, another thing to do it. That's genuine heroism. I just think, I thought that President Bush made a really good speech today. Genuinely good speech about who we are. We're not. The core of who we are is not divided.
Well, who the hell is this we Biden is talking about? We Americans don't arm our enemies. We Americans don't promise the biggest tax increases in U.S. history. We Americans don't mandate vaccines for our citizens, but exempt illegal aliens, members of Congress, their staff, and members of the court. We Americans don't leave our people behind to the mercy of terrorists. So I'm not sure who Bush and Biden are talking about. And that's another thing. Mr. Bush rarely breaks his post-presidency silence unless he seeks to bash conservatives or praise leftists. Couldn't Mr. Bush spare any concern, any caring for the hundreds of Americans left behind in Afghanistan? Well, I guess not. But you know who did care enough to mention the lives lost, the unnecessary disaster that is Afghanistan? Well, his name is former President Donald J. Trump.
For the great people of our country, this is a very sad day. September 11th represents great sorrow for our country. Many things were displayed that day, including, most importantly, the bravery of our police, fire, and first responders of every kind. It is also a sad time for the way our war on those that did such harm to our country ended last week, and should have been a year of victory and honor and strength. Instead, Joe Biden and his inept administration surrendered in defeat.
Bush and Biden, two peas in a pod, and evidence of what is wrong with the American political system. Who can tell the difference between the two of them? Biden is running the most anti-constitutional presidency since Barack Obama, but Bush has no critiques of Biden, the boob. It seems our so-called leaders are obsessed with praising those in their little club, all except for Trump. That's all well and good, but we, the people, get left behind, literally and figuratively. Bush and Biden, proof that Americans deserve a political system worthy of our U.S. Constitution, and they are proof that we need a better class of politician.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.